Yes, it's 11. It must be so annoying when people go live that the beginning 20 seconds are like this. Checking the monitors, making sure everything is working. But here we are, and it's working. It is November 12th, and we are going to make, on this live, a coffee sleeve, or a coffee cozy, as I like to call it. And mine is made with soft vinyl, inside and out. I have a free PDF for you that I just updated this morning because this is how I roll. I do everything last minute. I had a whole different thing planned for today, and then stuff happened. So let me put the PDF link in the comments right now. Yeah, there it is. Hey Debbie. Hey Mavis. Hey Kat. Thanks for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. Somebody brought to my attention that I always say you guys, and I just have to say, guys to me is all inclusive because I'm Midwestern, born and raised in the Midwest. And we say, oh guys, hey guys, what's up guys? It's just, I mean, I'll try to change, but I don't know. It's kind of late in the game for me. Okay. So I am going to be using Crimson soft vinyl. You know how I sell it in the shop at sohungryhippie.com in these big long rolls, 18 inches wide by 54. Actually, it's more like 56 to 58 long, but I say 54 because there's always some selvage, and I don't want you to plan a project down to the last inch and then come up short. So in case you were wondering, I am going to switch camera views so that you can see me doing everything from cutting out the pattern piece to sewing to pressing, the whole nine. And it's super simple. Yes, you can make a million of these and sell them at your craft shows, your fairs, give them as stocking stuffers. Everybody can use this. And the beauty is it's adjustable. So you can vary how big around it is according to what you think your people need. I use a Starbucks cup because this size fits all the three sizes at Starbucks, from tall, grande, and venti. And it just, I like mine to just slide on. I used to make them with Velcro or a snap, and sometimes I still will, but now I just omit the hardware and just sew it because that's super simple. If you're asking, yes, you can wash and dry soft vinyl. It does. It. Thanks to Erin. So Erin Joe on Instagram, she's like, girl, I need to know if I can wash this. So I tested it, and you can wash and dry. Just use low temps, which you should be anyways because we're trying to be planet friendly. Okay, let's get going. In the PDF, this is what it'll look like if you want to print it out, or you can look at it on your tablet. This is the cover, so let me take out the cover. See, it'll print like this on an 8.5 by 11, and you just fold it. And then here's the insides, and this is only 2 pages. And you've got a pattern piece that you can cut out, okay? And I've got some pictures, but look, it's 5 steps. It's so good. And if you want to get super fancy and use like patchwork, like sew a bunch of scraps, teeny tiny pieces of scraps together and do it that way, do it. Like, have fun, explore to create, right? Okay, so I cut out my pattern piece. Note that this is on the fold. Let me just check my phone. Excuse me so much. But there was some stuff going on at the school, and I just need to be like on it. Okay, we're good. So I made this on the fold so it'll fit on the printing paper sheets, okay? If you don't want to cut your fabrics out on the fold, just lay this down and trace it, and then flip it over and trace it, and you can make a whole pattern piece. I'm going to use fusible fleece. So I already cut out my fusible fleece on the fold. Here's my fusible fleece. This is how I buy it. I just buy it by the bolt. Let me show you what else you can use. You can use leftover quilt batting, like cotton, polyblend, doesn't matter. Or you can get fancy and use that Thermolam stuff, which is probably technically what you should use. This is what they put in pot holders and stuff. But listen, don't let that stop you, because for years and years and years, I just used leftover scrap quilt batting, and it's fine. You know, we're not trying to be the thermoses that stay hot for 24 hours. I mean, my prerogative is like, drink your coffee, have fun. This is just meant to protect your mitts. You know, okay. Let me quit jabbering. I had a lot of coffee this morning. I feel a little. Hi, Mary. Hi, Joni. Hi. Hi, Brett. Okay, let me switch to overhead so you can watch me cutting out this soft vinyl, which, by the way, is super, super easy to sew, super easy to cut. You don't need anything special. So I'm going to put this here on the fold. Now, I usually just use my rotary cutter. And again, I need to change my blade because this blade is super old. So it might be a little, I do this just so I can work a little more easily with a small piece. There, I cut the top. It's on the fold. And if you want to make this wider this way, please feel free. You can add an inch, no problem. You make it whatever size you want. So there's my exterior piece. Now I can use quilting cotton for the inside, but I don't feel like it. I want super bling inside and out. So I'm just going to put this here and cut another section for my lining. So in the PDF, I say cut one exterior, cut one lining, and then cut one interfacing. And I'm just using the word interfacing because you can use whatever you want. Like I said, from the quilt batting to thermolam to fusible fleece, whatever. It all works. I've done all of them, probably thousands of times. I used to sell these at craft shows when we lived on a military base in England. So I know they sell. Isn't that weird how that, what did I do? Did I cut that one too long? That's correct. And that's correct. Isn't that bizarre? There's some mathematical reason these look like they're different sizes right here, but they're not. And I don't know what that is. Right? Or are they? No, see, they're the same. Isn't that weird, you guys? It's a magic trick. Just call me David Copperfield. I don't know. That is so weird. Okay, so you're going to take your exterior and your lining, and you're going to place them right sides together, just like this. And then you're going to take your interfacing and place that on top. Now mine's fusible, so I am going to actually iron that down, but you don't have to. What I would do at this point, if you're not working with fusible, is just pin it in place like this. Or you can use clips. Definitely, clips are always fine. The fun thing about the soft vinyl is it's very much like fabric, so you won't end up seeing pinholes. You'll be just fine. Hold on a second. Let me switch the view. Okay, I'm going to take this over here and press it. You can iron soft vinyl if you put a pressing cloth on the right side. So right now I don't need a pressing cloth because I'm pressing the fusible fleece. My iron is directly on the right side of the soft vinyl. Does that make sense? If this was this side of the vinyl and I needed to press, I would just use a pressing cloth or spare fabric like I do. You're fine. This shifted to touch, so I'm going to make sure it's all lined up. Always check both sides. And then clips or pins to hold in place. And we're going to be done in record. Like I said, the free PDF pattern download is in the comments. I did a short URL. And if you subscribe to the newsletter, which comes out on Sundays, all the button for all my free patterns is in there. It's towards the bottom and it says click here for access to free patterns. So it's in every week's email. Real easy to find now. Okay. So at this point, pattern shows you. We're going to start up in this corner, so all the way around, pivot, over, and all the way down. And I'm going to leave this end totally open so that we can turn it right sides out. Gutermann all-purpose thread. It's what I use. I tell you guys this every week. I use it all the time. It's so good. It doesn't break. I'm using just a normal, my standard 3. It's a number 3 for my stitch length. I'm using my 1/4 inch foot because the seam allowance is 1/4 inch. You can use 1/2 inch. You can use a scant 1/4 inch. Just stay consistent. That's it. I'm coming up to this corner, so I'm going to keep down, lift my foot, and turn. Same thing here, needle down, lift my foot, and turn. When I come to the edge, I like to back stitch a bit, just so it catches. I have this, right? So now what we're going to do is trim these seams a bit, and I'm going to switch to the overhead because sometimes it's just too hard to hold it up. So give me a second here. I wish I did today, but I don't. So if you're commenting questions, I will come back and get to you. You know, I always think I can multitask and do all this stuff, but actually it's really hard when you're on camera. Okay, so I'm going to trim these corners. Now, if anywhere I see quite a bit of seam, I might come in here and trim a little bit of that out. It just makes your seam sit more nicely once you turn it right sides out again. But definitely do the corners at a minimum. And I just kind of angle them in. I do this all the time with my seams. I've noticed even on bags and clothing, just trimming those seams a bit makes that finished look more professional. So there it is so far. Now see how I've got some excess? I'm going to trim that away. And actually, this is a tip in the pattern. If you feel like this is too bulky at this opening, trim some of your interfacing away so that when we turn it in to sew this closed, it's not as bulky. Now, I didn't do this for like the first 800 cozies I ever made, so you don't have to, but it's a nice trick to just make things easier. So now we're going to turn it right sides out. I like to have a chopstick or a pointy tool for my corners. It just helps me with pushing the corners out. I'm just going to do this. This is really easy to turn. No issues with this. Yeah, so easy. Christy has a craft show coming up. These will be hot items, I bet. Because, you know, you can sell these. You can use your scraps and sell these for $6 or something. Like, that's not even cost of a coffee nowadays in a lot of coffee shops. And it makes it easy for people to purchase from you. So just an idea. And you're just using scraps, so it's not like you have a ton of material cost invested. Take it from me, I used to sell all kinds of stuff. Because I had to. Make sure you get in here and push these corners out without poking through. And then take your chopstick or your turning tool, your pointy knitting needle or what crochet hook, and press along this seam as you come out of the thing. And it'll make it pop and look really nice. Now at this point, let me move this. I'm going to lay this on my ironing surface and then take my pressing cloth and iron it. I've got this on full heat. This is what I use when I quilt and piece. I'm not, keeping it in one place for long, but I like to smash that down. Ooh, that looks so nice. This is the soft crimson, Spanish crimson color in the shop. You know I have all kinds. I've got Deep Space, Pink Nebula. Silver is coming back on the way. I've got black. I've got gunmetal. I've got purple. I've got pink, like a ballet pink. All right, next step, we're going to take that open end and just tuck it in. I tuck mine in. Each end is tucked in by 1/4 of an inch or so. You don't want to go crazy and tuck an inch in because then it won't go around your cup. But this should be good. And what I like to do at this point is take my cup and make sure that I've got some overlap. So I'll put this down. Yep, I've got overlap. So I'm safe. I can tuck it in that much. I like to just do that every time to make sure I'm not running out. That would be cute with farm fabric, Maribeth says. I mean, everything farm is cute. Isn't it? Gosh, sometimes I wish I lived on a farm. It's hard work. Okay, so now I'm just gonna sew this down. Bring my machine back over. Remember, just all-purpose thread, your normal sewing foot, an 80 needle. I use an all-purpose, is it called all-purpose? Universal 80 is what I use for 90% of my projects. It just works. I like the chrome, which I have in my shop because I feel like the chrome are just stronger. Also, I like to, this machine, I have to start with my needle down in the fabric, or I risk the needle coming unthreaded. I don't know if that ever happens to you. Every machine is different. So if you need to do certain little quirks for your machine, just do it. I'm going to back stitch to lock that in. Now, at this point, usually, if I had a matching thread, I would sew all the way around the edges because I just like that little pop of a top stitch look, especially if I'm using quilting cotton. For the vinyl, I tend not to do a top stitch. I don't know, I just like it, the look of it without a top stitch. So it's personal pref. And I'm gonna chop my little strings off. Now at this point, you may wanna get out your rubber mallet, or you can also use a hump jump or a jeans jig. You just want to make sure that your foot is level, because usually when you break a needle, if you're not hitting your needle plate or your foot, it's because your foot is like this and you're trying to go forward. So you want to keep that foot really level. Now, again, I get out my cup. I just keep my cup nearby and I come in here, make sure I've got some overlap. Okay, there it is. Don't move. Now, I usually take a pin and I put it through both layers. Now, if you're doing a snap or Velcro, this is different. You can do your thing. You probably know what you're doing. I'm showing the way. If you don't have snap or Velcro, I just sew it down. This is what I do now. So I'm closing this cozy up. I put it in so that the head of the pin is facing me so I can pull it out as I'm sewing. Now, I'm not going to hammer this because I want you to see like it's totally doable. It would help if I had my needle up. Okay, foot down. I'm going to start with my needle down in the fabric. And I'm going to go slow. A few stitches forward, a few stitches backwards to lock it in. I'm still not sewing on the pin. I'm watching where I'm going. I'm going to slowly pull that pin out. Now I can pull it out because we're almost done. And I just kind of move it. Do I need to get closer? Maybe I do. I'm going to switch the view. Let's do this. Okay, so let's get in here. And I'll shut this light off. Maybe that's easier to see. I've got this cozy scrunched up and I'm sewing those two edges together. And then I get towards the top and I'm going to back up. Have major lock stitches there. So this is not coming undone. If you want to do 2 passes, do 2 passes. It's fine. But see, it's real nice. Now, I could have done that even neater and gotten closer to this outer edge, but, you know, cut me some slack. I'm on a demo here. So now, this needs another pass so it looks better, but why bother? Because I actually need to just change my thread color. But that way you can see how they're both caught. I'll trim my threads. You might want to bring in your smaller scissors to get these guys. Oops. But I mean, it's done. Now, if you wanted to add a tag, do that before you sew it together. Like a lot of times I would put my Hungry Hippie tag there, and it's kind of fun. You could also embroider on here prior to sewing this closed. You can do scrappy patchwork, like I said. You can do strips, like string strips. Or you can just use up the stash, you know, that scrap bin that is sitting in your drawer there. Let me transition. All right, cool. So there it is. Now don't panic if you put it on and it's like, oh, I made it too tight. It'll just sit lower on the cup. That's not a, don't call it a mistake. So it's fine. Do some practice ones. This is good also if you need to keep your kids busy and they like crafty stuff. You can have them at least doing the first couple steps of this. It's, you know, pretty simple. So let's get to the questiones. I'm here, but Betty's here, but she can't turn on the camera. Aww. I feel that. Maybe I need to send a tutorial. Crystal's here. She's made 10 jillion coffee cozies, I believe. Christy, oh, I have a craft show. Yep, sorry, talked about you already. Kat says so easy, so true. Joni says she has some of that vinyl. Exactly. Quick, easy Christmas gifts or stocking stuffers or Hanukkah things. Like, don't you have to give presents for 10 days or 9 days for Hanukkah? Oh, the stress. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Elizabeth. That color, I know, isn't it so hot? It's just, oh, I love it. I have ballet pink. I know, right? It's easy to hoard what you get because I don't know if you guys have noticed, everything is going up lately in terms of goods. And I think it's the whole shipping container fiasco we're going through right now. It'll resolve. It's, you know, it's just a thing we have to get through. Debbie has sewed quite a bit of this. Yes, Debbie. Let's see. Christy says, I have some holiday cottons. Yes, exactly. Great, great scrap buster. So Kat, yeah, I think we've talked about that, in fact, and on a lot of machines, it will come unthreaded. And I've noticed lately, I'm just having a harder time seeing my needle to thread it. I need to find my spectacles. And so I just start with the needle down in my fabric now, just all the time. I have to. I would be afraid I would sew both sides together. I know, I am afraid every time, but you just kind of walk it through. You know, I think a lot of times people think you have to sew really fast, or maybe you see a demonstration and they're sewing fast, but you don't have to. You can just go slowly, and I just walk it through and you'll be fine. You do it once, it's like a bike, right? Yay, you're welcome. Easy peasy project. And yes, you can quilt soft vinyl. I've posted lots of photos of people that have quilted this vinyl first and then made a bag. I know Kim W did years ago, and I've reposted that a few times. If you do that, make sure to post in the makers group, because I'll repost and share that. That's so fun to see. I love it. That's right, Christy. just go your own pace. Did you guys see the new pin I have in my shop from the Gray Muse? I love it. And I'm going to put it on I bought this jean shirt from the thrift shop. So I'm going to like bling it out and I'm going to wear that pin on the collar. It's a pink ruler with a little charm. And it says, don't measure your progress by someone else's ruler. Oh, so good. Easy to forget. Hi, aloha. Oh, from Hawaii. How wonderful. We are super cold in Wisconsin right now. Super cold. I'm so glad you guys like this. So, I mean, look at that. In 25 minutes, you've seen a coffee cozy. So feel free to share. This will be on my YouTube channel also. I do have an older video of quilting cotton on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see that demonstration and not in the soft vinyl, just look up So Hungry Hippie on YouTube, subscribe, and you'll see that video. And it's like silent, I think, because I did it a few years ago. I didn't know what I was doing. And you can see that, okay? And don't forget the free PDF. It is in the comments here. It's a short URL. It'll also be in this Sunday's email newsletter. So sign up. If you're not signed up, I would love to have you. SoHungryHippie.com. You'll see a little flyout. Sign up. I am going to be having lots of surprises in the next couple of weeks. I don't think you're going to want to miss it. I get butterflies thinking about it. I'm excited. So sign up, open your newsletters, because if you don't open, it takes you off my list after a few times. So just saying. All right. I am going to let you get on with your day because it's Friday. I want you to have a great day. I think a lot of people have been struggling this week, and I have too. I've had a couple of really hard days. And I just want you to know you are never alone. Always reach out to a friend, or you can message me and I'll send you like a video of me cartwheeling and falling on the floor. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, we're all having issues right now, or our personal struggles or family stuff. And taking time to sew for you is super important. You have to keep yourself on the happy end of the spectrum or ruler or whatever it's called, the teeter-totter, to keep going and maintain positivity. And then it's like a ripple effect, and it just helps everyone else around you. So that's all I'll say. I better shut up now. All right. Thank you for being here. Feel free to share the video with your friends or your other Facebook groups. And I hope to see you next Friday. All right. Bye.